All right, let's do a story time. Sherry made some nice macadamia nut cookies. So this is from Fusion. So the whole theme for them is the color is green as their theme, and just anything doing with aliens and stuff like that. So it was so funny. They have an office here in Phoenix, or did. I don't know if it exists anymore or whatever it is. They've been bought by Garmin since. And it was funny when I would go down there and get stuff. One thing they complimented me on was the name RobotUnderground. There's like, this guy knows how to name an audio company. I was like, yeah. So I didn't want to correct them. And but they kept insisting that they're like, we're based out of New Zealand. I'm like, it's probably for tax purposes. Oh, but you can let that play, babe. So, but I wanted to show you their dealer price list. These are neon undercar kits. These are, I think this pricing is not so great, which is why I think they ended up selling everything through Wholesale House. So I'm going to throw these away, in fact. Ring lugs, competition, the ground wire. So you can see some of that. Of course, this is, what is the copyright? Say. It's a long time ago, though. Of course, it says specifications and may be modified without notice, so we can basically do what the fuck they want, and there's no consequences, negative consequences. You can turn that back on, babe. It's nice. So here's their encounter woofers. Where's that? Right there. And encounter loaded enclosures. Of course, this is all dealer pricing. Actual cost is, again, about half that. So, because they want to make their, depending on how you count it, 50 or 100 points or whatever, they want to double their money as well. So, and then you can see that the MAP is the minimum advertised price. The MSRP is the manufacturer's suggested retail price. So these prices are kind of typical. The Jonah Lomu, that was the top end one, and they have I think it's a Australian football, which is different than rugby. So. But I think a lot of those guys will also play rugby as well because basically because England was such a dominating force on the world, on the globe. They have a lot of those things like cricket all over the world, especially like in India and Pakistan and stuff like that. Physical location, CAS, yeah. So that's a car audio specialist. Minimum order, $1,000 buy-in, dealer agreement, discount structure. You know, that's just the more that you buy. So net 30. Returns. You got to do a was it RA? There you go. See. USA headquarters, which is in Phoenix, North Phoenix. So what's funny is this catalog is like expensive to produce. So you spend a lot of money on that shit. Wait till you start pricing that shit if you want. I mean, that's why I never saw the gain of starting my own brand in a traditional sense. Just because there's so many other people that are, outmaneuver me, a guy like me, with the money. Like they'll fucking work circles around me. So that in a sense, I've cheated, and that's fine. I've hacked my way to success, taking advantage of the buying power of these guys, So, and that's what you do when you rebadge. So that's why like I said, one of my first products that I got in, that's all dumb, was the Super Pro from Pyramid, PW655USX. That was our bender mid. And it's still great if I can still find it. But I'd love you guys to rebadge it and do something with it. Whose truck is that? Can you go find out for me, sweetie? Oh, is it? Oh, that's that guy, Jason. So, they even sold inverters. Again, this is all just a generic inverter from China, and then they just put their name on it. And then depending on how much, same thing with this. Fusion is completely a Me Too brand. They just would sign it or whatever with their signature, which is green. So they would do just a green accent. Sometimes they do green woofers. And that's really the only thing that made them any different than anything else. I mean, that's a nice EQ, sure. Is it worth whatever they want? I don't know. Let me look at that real quick. I think I actually really liked that one. I like this one too with the bass knob. Competition amplifier. There it is. So see, that's too much. $80 for a fucking EQ that costs $15 to make, but they wanted you to sell for $149 to $200. So again, once you start looking at China and Alibaba is great, by the way. You can use your credit card. I do, and I get double points on it, and it helps me pay some of the processing fees. So like, I think the processing fee the other day was like $80, which is it hurts, but that's the same as what the banks charge for a wire transfer. And the great thing about using your credit card on Alibaba is that you can always do a chargeback if things go sour. And I just had a vendor try to force feed me some shit, and I was like, no, you need to honor this price that I got from another vendor, otherwise I'm not going to buy from you. And then they changed their mind. They said, oh, well, we'll just sell these to somebody else. I'm like, mm-hmm. They'll try to guilt you and do a bunch of other stuff. It's not personal, but it's if I can pick and choose, I will pick and choose who I get to work with. So I want to work with people that that see a fair value in what I'm sending them. I'm sending them money that they need, and I'm moving product for them, and they're helping me, and I get to help my family, stay at home. So there you go. Encounter loaded enclosures. They have people in masks loading them, so they knew about COVID way back in 2005. So these are actually pretty good meds. They made some pretty good stuff. Well, I should say they put out some pretty good stuff. Of course, again, this is all, just China whatever made, and then they go, well, we want the crossovers in green, and we want the cones in green, and China's like, right away, sir. So looked good, but just the price points on them. There's so much other competition that provides a similar product for a lot less money, and that's when you start looking at those other brands and going, I was gonna say Hot Shots, but that's like that's a Naba. But what's a generic, like Renegade? So Renegade, Rockford finally got rid of Renegade. They sold it to somebody else. We'll see what happens with it. It's just a generic little brand, and it's like, but if they can import good stuff, then it's like, fucking use it. You don't always have to make a ton of money on every item that you sell. A lot of times, you can make up for it in the install or in something else. Oh, I did. They gave away CES 2006. I went and they gave away inflatable aliens, which was cute. So personally, I'd rather go talk to the hot chicks with big tits, but whatever. These are okay subs too. I just got a Fusion sub in. That's why I picked this one. So I picked up a Fusion sub and an amp for I think $40. And I was like, the box alone's worth that. So these look a lot like the West Coast Customs, which West Coast Customs audio was imported by Edge. So that's right there. That's the Larry's working on that shit. WCC, and there's what's his name, DCA Tang down there in Chandler, right there on Arizona Avenue. He still has a lot of that stuff. And it's the same as Diamond. It's, you know, like the Diamond D, they have the D1 and the D3. Old one. Again, that's from like 2010, 2011. It's old. So, but I'm old. I've been around a while and I've been doing this for a while, so I kind of know. Who's going to dip them in hot chocolate? What is that? Spooky water? That's funny. Staging for these. So I remember back when I worked for Lightning Audio, it was great. There was this guy named Paul that had a bunch of tattoos, and he was part of the sales team, but he also did a lot of other stuff. And he's the actual guy that's being suspended by fish hooks and a bunch of other stuff that they put in the promo materials for Lightning. So I think he's like a normal guy now. But, you know, he was doing extreme stuff. Right. Yeah. Okay, that's made of aluminum, so it's not going to spark steel, but okay. There you go. They even had the little links. That's cute. CEA 2006 rated. Again, nothing they made was magic. It was just, I mean, it was good, but it was expensive, you know. I mean, it wasn't as expensive as like Rockford and JL, but, you know, and there's their attempt at JL logo stealing. So, but it's Jonah Lomu instead of, you know, JL Audio. But if you ask me, though, it looks like a lot like Jizz Llama. Maybe I should file suit. That's funny. I never even thought about that they would do that. And of course that's what they're doing. Of course. It's like, no, you really got to grab the llama by the balls, man. You really got to let them know. You're having fun with them. That's why, you know, I got my call. There you go. See, and one could mistake that one for, you know, a JL audio amp. So I like the Jonah Lomu one. It came in a case, which was kind of cute. You know, that adds $15 to the price, but it's like the presentation, you know, they present it like it's a work of art. So, and you can see here, damping factor is greater than 200, which is not that great to begin with. But that's like it, probably 2 ohm. Was it even 2 ohm stable? Was 1 ohm stable? 1 ohm. So, and it did 1600 watts. Good job. You know, 40 amp fuses. So, and then they were one of the only other brands to offer recon kits, which I thought was good, but it was very brief, and they'd even give you the shim, which was cute. Of course, there's no money in that. That's why companies promise it, and then they never deliver on it. So that's a really big amp. Oh, they did offer big amps. So again, this is probably the same one as, you know, DC Audio and Sundown, all those guys, and they just put their zing on it, their pizzazz. Let's see. 2,000 watts, 3,800. So that big surfboard is only 4K. But again, this is 2005. So, and then they also had marine stuff. And this was before the whole Sidewinder, side-by-side type of flood that has happened recently with, you know, dune buggy. That's what I like to call it, a dune buggy, because that's like the most lame name for, because of course that's taken after people that would take a bug, a VW bug, and then convert it to a Baja bug, which is the most ridiculous thing in the world. And then, you know, zoom it up and down the dunes, man. Dune buggy. And of course you could take one of those, my dad actually had one. He picked it up for really cheap, like $500-600. I think somebody probably owed him money. And somebody had built a steel frame cage around it, and then just mounted a VW motor in the back. So it was great. We took it up to, I forget the name of I don't think it's a city or anything like that, but it's an area northeast of Phoenix. If you follow the 60 up, there's an old tunnel that was made in the 20s, and right after there you turn north, and which is a left, and that's where the area was. And I tried searching for the area, but there's been forest fires in the area since, you know, when I was a kid, and so all the pines are gone, and it has new new ones like cottonwoods and stuff like that are growing in that area. So because the environment has changed, pines aren't what they're going to do anymore because it's not as cold up there anymore. So, but you know, those pines were probably 100 years old. This is pretty generic shit over here. So I did like it's actually a large, I think, fiber optic cable that's filled with gas that is still neon because it comes with a little power supply that is a ballast and everything like that. I think I still have some of that shit. Not from these guys, but you know, just in general. So, and I like these bars because they work as distribution as well. And also they're not limited to the spacing here, so you could use them on any cap. So, and they had the puck too. Oh, with the DVM, that's great. Optional digital cap. So I would love to find out. Oh God, yeah. So these are just generic. So you see these from AudioPipe and everybody else. So, and they probably were made by Edge, or I should say sourced by Edge. Edge has some of their own. I loved those. I loved using those on top of caps as well when I had a shit ton of them. So we'd get sometimes closeouts from Lighting Audio, and I'd get a shit ton of those. It's just a ground terminal that's removable, which is, I don't know, to me it's kind of silly, but it's like, whatever. And then I used to get this green speaker wire, so I really like that one too because it was OFC. And again, yeah, probably Edge provided all this stuff. So I'll ask the Larrys. I really liked these two, and then also when they would sell the ends on their own so that I could make my own cables. I bought a shit ton of these from them. So then I'd make my own DIN to RCA cables and shit like that, and it just gave a little pizzazz, a little flair, make it look fancier than normal. The rest of this is kind of just generic shit that you can get from anywhere. There it is. So I didn't have sex with mine, but oh, and I had the beanie. I still have the beanie inside the Phoenix Gold jacket that I got from. Well, I bought it on eBay, and I got Larry F to sign it, and he's put in there like "fuck robot," and I was like, sweet. Thanks, Larry F, Larry Frederick, and that's basically it. So I hope you enjoyed this story time. I love you guys. Have a great weekend.